Pickaxe.
Hello and welcome once again to YOMP! I am Simon, the Diggy Hole Man, Honeydew Lane. That's right, it's me, everyone. I am your probably number one host, best boy host, and my if I'm Captain Jean-Luc Picard, my number one is oh no, is both G-Star Games and Booth.
Yay! Nice save. Oh god. Okay. Hello. Yes, my name is G. Full Christian name G-Star Games, and with me, Simon's other number one is Sophie.
Hello, I'm Sophie, aka Booth, and I exist also in the universe.
If G's my number one, you're my letter A.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
I'm
I
your
see what you
Wesley
did
Crusher. Can I be your Wesley Crusher, please, Simon?
But no, Christ no. No one wants to be that.
I know.
He could be my
But
Worf.
he does have... Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my god.
Worf's fucking badass.
But we're not here to talk about such fun things as Star Trek movies.
Oh.
Yeah, we're not here to talk about an actual good piece of media.
Now,
Hang
don't
on
you
now.
be talking
Hold
shit
on.
already, G-Star Games. Don't be talking shit already. Because this week, it's a Simon pick. One of my movies was selected to watch. Xtro. The hit movie, Xtro.
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Why did
Sophie, go
you
ahead.
add this to your list?
Because I have wanted to watch it for a while. I've seen the cover around for the longest time, and it's got a weird, messed up cover, and I never got around to watching it. They did a Red Letter Media about it ages ago, and it looked fun, and I felt like I got everything that I could from the movie from watching that. But then time went by, and we started doing a movie discussion podcast, and I was like, fuck it. I've not watched it. I'm going to put it on the list because I want to watch it. I want to see if it is actually like as bizarre and as fun as it looks.
And you know that this is a Sophie film.
I knew that you would like it. I knew also that G would hate it.
Yes.
And sometimes you got to take the rough with the smooth, haven't you?
Good with the bad.
G-Star Games has already confessed to hating it. Off recording, off mic.
Yep.
Well, I'll confess to thinking this movie's fucking amazing.
Oh my god. Oh, I called it. So good. So good.
I think it is spectacular.
I'd better summarize this.
I want you to do a Red Letter Media style summary. So we should start doing that.
Rich Evans does.
No,
where he
like
just gets
Mike and
that
JD.
faraway look in his eyes. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Xtro is a movie. That's kind of how it would start, right? Xtro is a movie. It's approximately an hour and a half long. It's a science fiction horror that has a budget of about £10 because it was made in the UK.
Yes, I love how this is a it's like you're standing up in front of the class giving your presentation.
Yeah, show and tell kind of thing.
Show and tell.
It's about a man who gets abducted by aliens or drawn into the sixth dimension, and he undergoes a process where he transforms into a monster, but then he comes back after 3 years, has to become human again, and find his son in order to bring him back into space or the sixth dimension. It's kind of a story all about a father, an estranged father, reuniting with his son, which is quite heartwarming, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah, they found things to they found things that they have in common. You know, they're bonding.
Yeah. My God.
What do they have in common? Sorry.
That they are aliens or
they sort of
Lovecraftian
suck.
monsters.
people's
suck.
bodies.
we have that in common. We suck.
Oh my god. Well, I thought this was such a good pick to have after The Prestige as well, because that was such a complex sort of Matryoshka doll of a plot with just such high production values, such amazing actors, and in this we get Lou Beale from EastEnders, the old fucking woman. Oh my god. Bless her heart. She's dead, by the way.
Oh, rest in peace.
She's dead.
She died about 10 years ago, and she was 98 when she passed
Damn.
on. Bless her. Plays Mrs. Goodman, but we'll get to
Oh,
her.
She lived long
We'll
and
get to Mrs.
prospered.
Goodman.
Oh, is she the neighbor?
Yes.
Yeah, the nosy,
Gotcha.
horrible neighbour.
Right.
So, how do we go through this chronologically?
Chronologically.
Chronologically?
Yes.
I barely slept last night, listeners.
Yeah, I barely slept after watching this piece of shit.
I slept like a fucking baby.
There we go. So it starts off. It looks. The titles are a bit like The Thing. It's clearly like ripped off The Thing. The music is really good as well. The synth music is fantastic.
Yes. That was written by the director.
Yes. The triple named director.
So you can buy that on vinyl, and I very nearly did. It's probably mega expensive now, but I was working last night to try and find what synthesizers he used, because I'm a bit of a fanatic of synthesizers as well, but I couldn't figure it out. So
I think it was a Moog. Yeah.
I mean,
The only one I can
maybe?
name, Sophie.
pronounced Moog as well.
Oh. Harry Bromley Davenport was the director, writer, and synth player of Xtro. And things move very fast. There's a dad. His name is Sam. He's playing with a dog, which does not have a name, I think.
No, the dog is...
Oh.
The dog is called Katie, I think.
The dog's called Katie.
Yeah.
Fantastic. It's clear right from the start that it's set in England as well. Everyone's got
Filmed in
fantastic accents.
Buckinghamshire, is that?
It's so good. The accents are wonderful.
There's also a pony on that farm.
Oh, that's nice.
Did you see the pony?
I didn't even
I
notice
didn't
the
see
pony.
the pony.
So there's
sorry.
the son is Tony, the dad is Sam. Rachel, the mother, is off to work, presumably in the car. She drives off. They're playing catch with the dog. The dad's got a stick, and the boy says, "Throw it as high as you can!" And he throws the stick up at over the roof of this giant house where they live.
No, he just sort of threw it in the air, high up in the air.
Dads are cool like that, aren't they?
It's definitely going over the roof where he threw it.
Oh.
Did your dad ever do that? Because mine did.
Yeah, then the
My dad
branch,
was always-
and then the branch then combusted and flashbanged us.
Which
And
is,
then-
in the film, there's a flash, and it's suddenly it's nighttime.
I
It's
thought
very
that was
windy.
pretty cool.
It's a good
Do you like that?
transition.
I was like,
It's a
they
lot of
have to
fun.
wait until nighttime. But they filmed the first part, which was day, and then they had to wait until.
No, I imagine they shot the other scenes at this location that were filmed during the day. They didn't literally wait 12 hours for it to get dark.
They actually film things chronologically themselves, so they have to sit around and wait.
Yeah.
The thing I really liked about this scene was it was very, very windy.
It was.
There was all sorts of shit flying into Sam's mouth, and I was just
Yes.
having a fuck
Yes,
up.
I fucking pissed myself when I was he had all this leaves and dirt on his teeth.
An
I'm
incredible actor to be able to put up with that and not break character of a screaming man being dragged into a portal to an alien dimension, which is apparently what happens. But
Tony escapes unscathed. Dog escapes unscathed.
Tony's fine, but Dad has been sucked off.
Sadly. Yeah, sadly Tony survives.
And time has gone by. They now live in a flat or an apartment, if you're an American. A
3
completely
years.
different place. They're in the city. Apparently 3 years has gone by.
And Tony's had a nightmare.
Tony's had a nightmare. And he often has nightmares, apparently. The mother just thinks that Sam abandoned his family in these 3 years. Maybe he's got like a fancy woman, he ran off.
Well, why would you like believe your son when he says aliens abducted Dad? And it's like the more logical thing is that he ran off with his secretary.
Yeah, 100%.
Because all men do.
Yeah, and also aliens aren't real, and ghosts aren't real. Space isn't real.
Space is not real. I've never seen it.
Love isn't real. So just yeah. Dads aren't real.
You know,
Dads are not real.
She got in her car, left them playing, drove away, went to do whatever, and then came back and he's gone. So she's like, what? You know, where the hell did he go?
He just got fucking sick of being a dad and walked off into the woods.
That happens.
It does happen.
At least he wasn't a family annihilator that literally kill their entire families and then find a new one.
Christ.
Rachel's moved on. Now she's in a throuple with an American.
That's not
an
true.
American Joe. Well, he's American Canadian apparently.
Yeah.
And a French lady called Annalise.
Okay,
I just immediately
I struggled to figure out for like at least 20 minutes of the movie where the fuck where it was set, because we had English, British accents, and then American, and then French, and then the neighbor sounded German, and I'm like,
the neighbor sounded German.
She did.
What?
I think the first time she speaks, she genuinely sounded German.
She's a fucking Cockney.
There, little Tony.
She does not sound German.
She did.
Oh. I want to slap you for saying such things about Lou
Scheisse. Look at you, you're growing so big. And then he shoots her with his little action man.
Spoilers! He doesn't shoot her. Right.
He's in a throuple with Annalise and this Canadian American
She's
Joe.
not in a throuple.
Lovely
I like to
Annalise.
think that actually. I mean, listen, Annalise is a live-in nanny, right?
And she is also the violinist from The Living Daylights, the James Bond movie.
Awesome.
That stars Timothy Dalton. And I saw her and I was like, oh my, I couldn't believe it. I didn't realize she was in the film. That was a nice surprise.
Was that
and we also got to see her tits and bush later.
Yes.
And that was a nice surprise
some full
too.
frontal. It's brill. But then the lights come back, right, in the next scene or at some point. And they set a forest on fire.
Mm.
Yes. It feels almost like a meteorite landed.
Yeah.
So I think we're supposed to think that we just call him Xtro. Xtro has been thrown out of the portal into reality.
This world.
Earth.
Yeah.
He's been thrown back to this realm of existence, and obviously it's caused a little bit of a fire, and he's a horrid monster.
Do you like the monster? Do you like how they did the monster?
I loved it. It.
Isn't he great?
So it's a man on all fours, but his crotch is pointing towards the sky, and his ass is pointing to the ground.
And
So
they've
it's
put
the
the
wrong way
mask
round.
on the back of his head so that he's all like contorted and stuff.
It looks
And
amazing.
I thought that was so clever.
I loved it. G.
Yes.
Did you like Xtro, the monster? We're calling him Xtro.
I fucking hated him. I hate him. I think he's disgusting. I think I made the mistake of eating while I was watching this as well. So when it was at the really disgusting parts, I genuinely felt unwell. So I don't know. I posted a screen in the thing because
Isn't he fucking great though? Holy shit! I love him. I thought it was really clever, but you can tell that it's a man. So they had two mimes in this film. This was one of the mimes.
Tick and Talk
the
Yes.
mimes.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because TikTok is a thing these days.
It is a thing.
I really hope they're on TikTok doing this sort of shit. It's great. And then he's walking across the road like a little weirdo.
It does kind of make that noise, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he gets hit by a car. Does he get hit by a car?
He does.
There's there's a yuppie couple. I would describe them.
A yuppie, as it were.
In their like Volvo or whatever it is.
Ben and I didn't catch the lady's name. That was the guy's name was Ben because she was yelling at him.
Ben!
Or he was yelling. Yeah, stay in the car.
Get back in the car. Stay in the car. Get back in the car.
Fucking bitch. Does she listen? No.
No. Typical woman.
Typical bloody woman. They don't know how to listen, do they? They don't bloody listen.
They don't bloody listen.
I love the bit. Ben like wanders off trying to chase Xtro. Well, he's not really chasing Xtro. He's seeing what animal he hit or person or whatever.
Yeah.
And he sees Xtro, and Xtro like opens his mouth. There's like a puff of air. His tongue comes out, lashes across his face, and the guy falls to the ground, his eyes wide open, but clearly dead, with like these 2 slashes under his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And that was creepy as fuck.
I liked it because the alien looked like he was covered in jam. His blood looked like
It's goopy.
jam.
It's a goopy alien.
I put ketchup because I think like, it just looked very, very ketchupy, but a lot more vibrant in some lighting. I did kind of like the music in this sequence. The music was
it's fucking cool.
Yeah, it was nice.
Just like these weird stings.
It was very drony. It was like building up anticipation as well. So
it does sort of get your nerves going, doesn't it? When you hear that.
And his bird gets all bored. She's out wandering around, and she's bored until the Xtro grabs her hand. He holds her hand. He's like, "I love you."
It's so weird because she's in the car, but she's sitting in the driver's seat. But she was the passenger before.
She did get out.
because she got out to reverse the car. She got in the driver's seat.
She got out and she was like looking at the front of the car, and then she got back in, and she was like, "Come on, you fucking loser! What are you doing? Leave it alone!" And then the Xtro goes and grabs her hand when she tries to close the door. She's like, "Oh, fucking hell!" And then her leg's caught in the steering wheel.
And it honks the horn. And talking of honking the horn, the next scene, Tony's mommy, Rachel, and her boyfriend Joe are making fuck in their bed.
But he's too busy being traumatized by his nightmares, so he doesn't really register.
Tony he's like, Mommy, I was having a nightmare. Right as like fucking Joe's balls deep in her.
Well, I was saying if the abduction
coming.
Oh God. I said if the abduction didn't traumatize him, then that definitely did. But
I don't think he cares.
No, I don't think you're right.
I think he's already
he's fucked up.
He's all kinds of messed up.
Yeah, he's fucked up.
He's pretty fucked up at this stage. And they won't give him therapy, which is like a recurring. They're like, a psychiatrist will help. And they're like, and Alice is like, a doctor recommending another doctor. I cannot believe this bullshit.
Oh, I love your French accent, Sophie. It's wonderful.
Shit. We immediately cut back to a different cottage, and I assume it's in the same area that the Xtro got hit.
I thought this was their old family house.
I thought it was
the same
too.
house.
I thought it was too, but I think that it's a different one because the decor is quite different.
There's a hot blonde who's been washing her hair.
Sorry to like trail off, but like that thing that she had in the sink, I remember that as a kid.
I love that. The rubbery hose.
Yeah.
The rubber hose to add a shower to.
So,
to the sink.
American listeners, in the UK, we have 2 taps, a hot and a cold tap. So what do you do if you want like a temperature of water that's safe to like bathe or like wash your hair with? What you have is you have a rubbery hose that splits off. It's like a Y shape, and one end, goes on the tap, the other bit goes on the tap, and then you have this thing that has a really shitty, cheap plastic shower head, and you use that, and that's how you wash your hair in the kitchen presumably. Was
She's in the
where she
kitchen.
was.
This is where she was. And also, if you turn
Crazy.
the taps on too forcefully, they will pop off and it will
They will
spray
pop off,
everywhere.
Yeah. So you got to not have the
Off.
pressure too high on those things.
Yeah, I thought that was like such a... Because I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, that looks so familiar. Because I
had one quite recently because I've had a few houses recently that they didn't have a shower. It just had a bath because it's an old house.
Right.
And so I had one and I was just like, for fuck's sake. But I remember my grandma having one, and this one's pink in the film. It's very nice.
Yeah, usually they're like a creamy off-white, or at least the one...
really
A
gross.
dirty looking colour.
Yeah.
Basically.
This is one of my favourite bits because we get to see another dog. We get to see another dog in this bit. And you know what the dog is called?
What's the dog called?
Jasper.
Divine.
Oh,
I
Oh
wrote
my
that down.
God.
She's a
Cute.
very good little... I think she's a Jack Russell Terrier. I don't know what kind of dog she is. But
Yeah, I would say.
I think she's
something like
amazing. I think she's one of the best actors. And she's feeling a bit angsty. And so the lady's like, "Oh, do you want your din-dins?" And she
that. Do you
says,
want some of this
din-din.
weird bloody mince that I've got?
Well,
and
listen,
the dog,
It's
you know.
great. That's what dogs like.
they do love that shit. But the
Oh,
dog doesn't really
slop.
want it because something's bothering the dog.
Something is bothering Divine.
So obviously, this woman wearing nothing but a dressing gown opens her front door and just walks out in the middle of night, in the middle of nowhere.
If you live in the middle of nowhere, that's what you do, okay? You don't
I guess
care
so.
because you don't have any neighbours. You
Yeah.
can fucking... If I lived in the middle of nowhere, I would be completely naked all the fucking time.
Just
I would be
rolling around in
gardening.
fox shit.
Yeah, I would be out there gardening in the nud, like flipping the Love Witch.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? I've seen something like that recently. I think it was like a documentary or something where this guy was like a naked gardener.
Gee, was this documentary on a certain hub?
No, I'm pretty sure he was like, oh, this is some weird memory. But yeah, he's naked and they garden naked and they're like, oh yeah, it's fine, it's not dangerous, it's just gotta be careful and stuff. But they find it
especially
like
if you got like those fucking
big
trimmers.
shears.
And, yeah,
I was
oh
correct.
Jesus.
It's a Russell Terrier, Jack Russell Terrier.
He's a lovely lad. I love him.
girl?
Divine. I think she's probably a lady. But
She's
the lady, the dressing gown lady, is greeted by Xtro, and he's horny.
Extra's in the house. He
He's
was
in the
hiding in a
house.
cupboard or something, which I don't really understand. And there is, I mean, it's sexual assault basically. His dick comes out much like a dog's lipstick does, but it
it's out
doesn't
of his
go.
face.
It doesn't go where you think it does.
Oh.
It goes to her mouth.
Well, yeah, very alien, right? So
Yeah. So apparently that's how extros procreate.
Yeah. Not
We
the
find
reproductive organs. We, consume the coom and baby come out.
Thank you for joining us for Sex Education with G.
Oh my fucking god.
I
Okay,
hated that
yeah,
scene so
that's
much
great.
because he's disgusting because we get like a full shot of him in the light this time.
He makes like a cum face, doesn't he?
He does
Yeah, he
make a
does.
cum face,
Which
yeah.
I like the
nice.
lighting in this film a lot.
was
And in this one,
red.
it's
Yeah.
red in this scene.
Yes.
The lighting in this film is so fucking good.
It's a great film, G. This is
It's a really
art.
good-
I'm not hearing it.
Art.
I mean, I will hear it, but I'm not agreeing. So
Anyway,
So, yeah,
we cut
he's
to little Tony, who's in
got his-
bed.
he's got his period.
yeah, what the fuck was that about?
His mum's comforting him and realizes when she moves her hand, onto his pajamas that there's blood all over him. She throws up the sheets off of him. He is covered in blood. There's like 2 pints of blood just all over his body.
He does look very pale and sweaty. He looks like he is in a state of extreme blood loss. And she calls the doctor and stuff, right? And he's like, you don't have any you don't have any cuts on you or anything. So where did that blood come from? And Tony says, Daddy sent it. I just felt something sticky.
Ugh. Yeah, I remember that line.
This is right after his dad shot his load into this lady.
Well, hold on. Sorry, because we skipped forward like a little bit. So the Xtro thing shot the load into her. She starts growing a massive belly, huge. She falls on the floor and then gives birth to the dad.
Yes. But Divine at this time is eating slime instead of that weird, gross mush that Mommy tried to give.
Wow.
So Sam, she gives birth to a fully grown man, does this lady. And it is absolutely fucking horrendous in it. It's one of the most memorable scenes, I think, of this film, which is saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. Sam's head comes out of her vagina covered in like blood and gore. Yeah. He pulls himself out of her body and he like bites the umbilical cord.
He chews through the umbilical cord.
Fucking
hell. I was eating sushi during this, by the way.
You were not. Come on.
I swear to God, I was eating sushi.
I was having a cup of tea and a Rice Krispie square.
I didn't expect that to happen. So when it was happening, I was like, fuck. Why did I choose now to have my...
I was laughing so much because I was like, G is going to fucking love this film. She's just going to... Oh, it's so good.
I felt so unwell. I felt so queasy.
I love the bit when the blonde lady comes to and there's Xtro's like skin is on the floor and it's like he's melted and the dog's lapping at it.
Yeah. Divine's eating the skin of
So Divine didn't want, bolognese mince or whatever, but the slop of an alien.
That's typical dog. They eat literal shit. They will not eat their Baker's Complete. But they will eat the cat shit that they found in the garden.
Oh, God.
Divine and eating shit. Name a more iconic duo.
I know.
Yum, yum, yum.
That's another film. There's a lady. Which
Flamingos.
It's Pink Flamingos. And Divine eats dog shit.
Amazing.
Divine is a drag queen.
Yeah. An icon.
Iconic. Well, I'm going to put that on the list next.
Oh, Jesus, please don't. Please don't. So Sam, the dad, is now like a fully grown normal man. He's no longer Xtro. And he's covered in gore and blood. And so he cleans himself off using that weird rubbery hose shower thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that so much.
It's very
good. Fucking... great
and
stuff.
And then he carry on, sorry.
I was just going to ask, like, why he was an Xtro and then, like, was in the body of that Xtro, but then she gave birth to him.
So
we find out, don't we?
We do find out.
Okay, right. I'll let you guys explain that when it comes to...
We'll get there, yeah. So this guy, Sam, the daddy, the missing daddy, he... steals the clothes of the driver that he killed. Like he goes, retrieves the body, and just like loots his gear. And then he also takes the car, but he doesn't remove the dead body of the woman. The dead body of the woman is still in the car when he drives off. Yeah, insane.
Well, I mean, he's fucking chill. He knows. He's just like, well, that's going to take some time to sort out, innit?
Oh my God!
And he tries to phone Tony.
Yeah.
E.T. phone Tony.
Well,
somehow he has their number, but I guess they had like the yellow book, the phone book those days.
No, well,
you would know your number.
Oh no.
They lived in a different place.
Different place.
There's
yeah,
no way.
I was gonna say.
Oh, that's true.
Back then, it was very normal to remember phone numbers, but that was a different place, so I don't know how the fuck he knew. But yeah.
But he melts the phone anyway, so
he did.
And it looks like it's an accident. Like he didn't mean to do it.
He's getting used to his like extra powers and his human body.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's just really hot.
It's breakfast time in the flat. They are the Phillips family, by the way. Tony, the son, and Rachel, his mother, and Joe. I don't know what Joe's surname is. Joe
Mama.
Something. But Tony is playing with his beloved toy soldier, and he's like making it stamp on the fucking butter.
He made such a fucking mess during that breakfast.
I can't believe it.
Did you see how like shit was flying
throwing
everywhere?
stuff around?
He is honestly such a messy child, because there's a bit later on where he's like playing with ice cream with Annalise, and she's just like sitting there.
Yeah.
And he's just like spreading ice cream around a table or something.
He needs more discipline, and we'll get to him how he plays games as well, because that's
Joe Daniels.
bullshit as well.
Joe Daniels.
Daniels.
That's his surname, apparently.
That's the boyfriend. Tony, he says the very memorable line, "Mum, his trousers keep falling down."
Yeah.
Which I love.
Because they do. Because he's standing in the butter.
Yeah.
They can't control this fucking child. Like this.
Yeah.
This
I was
kid
like, where
really
the fuck
needs
is the au
therapy.
pair? Where's this fucking French broad? What's she doing? Turns out she's fucking overslept. She's snoozing in bed. Unbelievable.
Just one job, and she's like, "Yeah, I sleep.
I sleep." And Tony's brought his garter snake to the table as well.
I thought it was a garter snake as well. I'm glad I got that right.
It is a garter snake. My auntie had one called Rodney, and we loved Rodney.
They're very small, safe, and completely legal in the UK.
I thought they were. I thought it was a fake snake at first. I was like, "Oh, it's just a fake snake."
But he's called this snake Harry. But Harry's laid some eggs.
Yeah. It's got a nice little terrarium, little home.
Yeah. It's not what garter snakes do. They have live births, the garter snakes.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Don't sweat, because eggs is like a kind of a theme in this film, I guess.
Yeah, but if they
and
kept
the director clearly didn't know his snakes very well.
Yeah, well, there's a lot about this movie that the director,
Yeah.
We meet Lou Beale, Mrs. Goodman, the neighbour. EastEnders' favourite, the old lady. She's always been an old lady her entire life. She loves Tony. She's like doty, going, "Oh, lovely boy, give me a kiss, you." And he fucking hates her. He's disgusted by her, and that's when he like fake shoots her with his like.
He mimics shooting her with he's got his little the action man's little gun.
Yeah.
He's like,
and it's a haunting scene. Annalise is walking Tony to school, and you see all these beautiful 1980s cars, and it's magnificent. Just no rounded edges on any of them. They're all boxes. They're all bright colours. This is how it should have been. And more importantly, Sam is stalking them. So Tony's papa is watching them. And then we get some fucking idiot not paying attention in a camper van, and he drives right into the back of a Volvo, an estate. And that's the fucking car that the dead couple were driving, that Sam stole and parked up.
And just left the dead woman in.
Yeah, and this guy, it's very strange, because he just bumps into this car. He then, climbs over the back of their car. He doesn't go around the car or get out of the other door. He just sort of jumps over the back of the car in this really weird move. And he's apologizing. Oh, wow. He's apologizing to the woman that's in the front, and he's like, "Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Oh, I'm sorry." And he opens the door and pushes her body back, and we see she's disemboweled.
Mm-hmm.
She's fucking dead.
She is dead.
So rip. I mean, we knew she was dead, but now the world knows that she's been killed by someone.
Yeah.
And this is my favorite scene in the film, where we get to see the lady violinist from the Living Daylights, with her boyfriend going down on her. I thought it was Joe.
Every time I see this, I think it's Joe.
All three of us thought it was him.
I did too, yeah.
Because men in the 80s were very similar looking. It's just the hairstyle, though.
Yeah, it's that fuzzy, blackish, brownish, like frizzy looking hair that a lot of men from the 80s donned. They're sort of like
their faces are all a bit craggy looking. They all have the same sort of dead eyes.
Yeah.
And we get to see that she's got a bit of a bush. It was the 1980s after all.
It was the 80s, so
She gets the bush.
And I still thought that this was Joe at this point. Rachel phones the apartment, says, "Oh, can you pick up some whatever it is?" We don't hear her end of the phone call. So she's interrupting their lovemaking sesh, and then we see this man like drinking milk straight out of the bottle and like goosing up the au pair. And I thought this was Joe, and I was like, that fucking piece of shit. Not only is he having an affair with the au pair and goosing her up while she's on the phone to his girlfriend, but also he doesn't pour the milk into a glass.
Oh, that's the fucking straw that breaks the camel's
straw.
back. Yeah, Jesus, how could he? No, I think
but of course it's not Joe, it's Michael is the name of her boyfriend, a different person, apparently.
Yeah, no, it is. Because I remember when he was like messing around with her, I was like, oh, that's not Joe, that's another man. So yeah, I calmed down at that point because I was like, oh, bastard. How could he?
You can tell because British men are a lot uglier than
It's going to
the American
aggressively blow
Canadian.
my nose in response to that.
Oh yeah, because Joe is like Canadian American or something. We said.
Oh, first of all, how dare you say that British men are ugly? We cut to the fashion shoot. There's a man with a monobrow.
Now, I have a very good fact about this guy. Okay, the monobrow man, Kev. Okay, this is Kevin Allen. This is Keith Allen's brother. Keith Allen and Kevin Allen were both in Comic Strip Presents.
Holy fucking shit.
That's Kevin Allen, who's been in various things.
Yeah.
That's Lily Allen's uncle.
Yeah.
That's Alfie Allen's uncle.
That's amazing. That's actually amazing.
So I think Keith Allen had a bit of a monobrow for a while as well.
He did, but I mean, Kevin really rocked that monobrow, like for his whole career, and I love that. You know, he was just like, yeah, I've got monobrows. So what?
There's a lot of people who rock monobrows. I think there's like a model today that like has an insanely bushy monobrow. Some people love it, some people hate it.
It's like Marmite, isn't it? The monobrow. So this fashion shoot is at the studio. This is where Joe works. Joe is a photographer, apparently.
Yes.
And also Rachel kind of works there.
I don't know what the fuck she does there.
I don't know what her job is.
No. No, I don't know either.
And it looks like it's an advert for beer from the looks of it.
She's stuffing her face with a sandwich.
And then we get the wonderful line when Joe says to the model, "Paula, please stop drooling."
No, there was a line before that where he says, "We don't want to see crumbs on your toenails." I'm like, "Find shoes, you dolt."
G-Star Games! We got the foot scene!
We do have another foot scene later.
Oh.
He's like, pretend your foot is your face and smile. Because he's just taking a picture of her foot.
Yeah, how do you do that? How do you make your foot smile, G?
Tickle it?
Oh,
okay, right. Right. Yeah, that's about as weird as an answer as I was expecting. So the stupid fucking irresponsible teacher at Tony's school has let him leave with his estranged father who's been missing for 3 years. Good work. Good work.
The 80s, everyone. No level of like, awareness or child safety.
It's a kidnapping, basically.
Yeah. But like parents and stuff were not so like stringent back then. Kids would play.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to play. Yeah.
When kids used to actually go outside and play.
Poking a dog shit with a stick. That's my favourite game. Love playing that game. So she asks, "Where'd they go?" And the teacher like points. Rachel runs after them and like almost immediately finds them, which is quite lucky, I thought. in like an abandoned part of this busy city where there's no one else there.
It's London. It's literally London.
It is London, yeah.
Very strange. Oh, it is London.
It
wow.
is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Sam's there wearing the dead man's clothes, along with Tony, and she just slaps him across the fucking face.
Deserved.
Yeah. He claims to have amnesia. He's not sure where he's been. He didn't even know that it was 3 years that he's been missing. That's kind of the core things we learned from that scene.
I thought that this bit, among others, it gets very, very soap opera, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It does, but I quite like that because it grounds it in reality. And
It's
this
very
film
soap
needs some
opera.
of that.
It's like, yeah, it does. But it's got the vibe of like an episode of like fucking Emmerdale or Coronation Street or something, where it's the low budget really shows through in this particular bit. I think is the way it's shot.
It just felt like one long Goosebumps episode. I swear to God.
Oh, come on. It's not like Goosebumps.
It's
Come
more
on.
like the earlier episodes of Doctor Who.
Oh,
The way
God.
it's shot and the actual monsters and stuff.
That's more accurate, yeah.
It feels like that quite a lot.
But with a lot more sex and violence.
Yeah, with a lot more bush.
So it's like Torchwood.
Yeah.
So Tony and his dad are back at the flat, and Tony introduces his dad to Harry, and he's like, Harry's laid 4 eggs. And Sam's very interested in who the lady was that escorted Tony to school. Like, who is this Annalise?
I don't know why
Who's
he
this
was
lady?
though.
I will. Well,
Well, we find that out as well.
We do
Jesus,
find
the
that out.
Japes.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Sam sort of recounts what he remembers about his disappearance 3 years ago. And to me, it sounds a lot like an alien abduction. You know, he talks about a bright light in the sky, and he's sucked up into it and all this. But he doesn't
he's
seem
not bothered. He's not bothered that his wife. It feels like he doesn't remember anything. He doesn't know that it's been 3 years. But his wife has a new boyfriend, and
he doesn't give a shit.
He doesn't
about
give a
that
shit.
At all.
It's like they're hanging out and stuff.
Because he doesn't really care about Rachel. He cares about Tony, his son.
That's true.
That's why he's back.
Oh, he kind of cares about Rachel. Not a lot, but there is a level of him being like, And also, when they first spoke to each other, I know I'm skipping a little forward. It seemed at first like they knew each other. It was very bizarre, like the way that
Who and who?
Sorry, Joe and Sam. It
Right.
felt like off the bat they kind of knew who they were, like as if he was like a family friend or something. But I think that was just weird.
I didn't get
writing.
that vibe at all.
It was just
It's more like two men that are like, they both think they're the king of the castle, and the
Two
other
men
one
that
doesn't
are
belong there.
fucking the same woman.
stooping the
Yeah.
same
They're sort of like,
lady.
yeah, they're sort of like trying to
out.
exude this confidence and stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
And she goes to, there's a really annoying bit. They're playing Connect 4, Sam and Tony.
Oh my god, this fucking scene.
What?
So it's obvious that Sam won really near the start because Sam is yellow and there's a 4 of yellow like right at the bottom. So Sam won, but then clearly there's another 4 in a row of red. So Tony then won, but he's already lost. And then we see them place pieces, and Sam has placed a yellow, so now he's got his second Connect 4. But then Tony places a red, and he acts like he won the game, even though they're 2-2. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Stupidest fucking bit. And also, Rachel goes to make Sam a drink, and she drops the ice on the floor, and then she puts it back in the bowl to bring in to them.
5-second rule, Sophie.
Yeah.
5-second rule.
It's
Come on.
ice, though!
Yeah.
It applies to ice as well. Applies to anything. If you spill a drink, if you can get all the drink back in the glass in
Get a
5
straw.
seconds. Yeah.
Slurp it all up. Waste not, want not. I think if
Oh
your
my
floor's
God.
clean, it's all right. But I doubt that house is clean. So
Well, the au pair's not doing very much. She's too busy getting fucked every day.
And Tony is like making such a fucking mess all the time.
If you mop the drink up into like a towel, does that count as like collecting it so you can just like suck it out of the towel
wring
later?
it out. Yeah.
The towel isn't the floor, so I think so, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so bear that in mind in
Clarifying.
future. Okay. We get the conversation between Joe and Sam, where Joe helpfully points out to Sam that he's been cucked by him. And this is now his house and his family. But Rachel insists that Sam stays there. Joe is very unhappy with this arrangement, it's fair to say. And I thought Joe was actually being quite reasonable, especially considering that he's cheating on Rachel with the au pair, but he isn't. That's a different character. So at this point, I was very confused with like who was schlepping who in this whole thing.
It felt even more soap opera at that point.
Yeah.
But also like she kept Sam's clothes for 3 years. She moved house with Sam's clothes.
But yeah.
Actually, holy shit! I just had a thought. Right, I don't know whether they actually moved house because there's a bit
the
later on where
cottage.
have you been back to the cottage? So I think
So
it's like
this
a
was
holiday.
like their holiday home. Or maybe this was their
Yes.
pied-à-terre.
I think it was their like,
So I
Home away
think
from
that they
home.
didn't. Yeah, I think that they didn't move house. They lived there still.
yes.
Right.
Okay, so
That
I
makes more
put the
sense.
pieces together in my brain just there.
Sam is fucking around with the snake eggs, Harry's eggs, and he just has them in his hand. He cracks them open and just eats them out of his hand, just slurping down the eggy goodness. Tony
All blue
walks
in there though.
Tony walks in and he sees his dad doing this, and he's absolutely fucking horrified and just runs for it. But the lid of the terrarium hasn't been replaced, and Harry gets loose. He makes a fucking break for it.
Even though Harry's obviously a girl because it laid eggs.
Yeah. Well, it could be he could be trans. So we have the best shots of the film when they're running.
This shot.
It's so fucking funny. There's a scene in which they're running down an alleyway. Sam is chasing his son, and for some reason, the camera is above a series of pipes that are all covered in bird shit. And
It's beautiful, isn't
the
it?
director thought, yes, this makes it look urban. The
Did you
shit
also-
represents Xtro.
Did you also appreciate that there was a pipe on the floor Simon posted a picture in the Discord to illustrate how fucking much he loves this. There's a pipe to the right of Sam that is just spilling like smoke everywhere, but it's dry ice. It's just, the dry ice pipe's leaking. Oh no. Like that is dry ice that's coming out of a pipe. That's not steam.
Yeah, I mean, in some cities in the UK, we do have like vents where like otherwise the sewers would explode basically because of all the shit and piss gas, and the idea is that these vents let the gas out of the sewers.
It's not dry ice.
No, but it shouldn't look. It shouldn't look like the way it looks.
Yeah.
But I think that might be what they were trying to do. I don't know.
They're trying to make it look grotty and stuff.
Yeah.
Tony would
And
go
the
and
bird
hide
shit helps with that.
Yeah. That Tony would go and hide in a disgusting alleyway in his pajamas or whatever. Just to hide from his dad who was eating his snake's eggs.
This is fucked up, isn't it? That's so messed up.
Yeah. But then he finds him and he's like, I'm really sorry about it. Ooh.
I'm sorry, son. I love you, son.
I love you. And he's still wiping egg off his face.
Oh, of course. We also see Harry gets like under the skirting board. So it's like he's going like under the flat. G-Star Games. This is the moment. Sam has found Tony hiding in the alleyway, and he says that he needed to eat the eggs as he's not the same man that he was before. He went to another world and he had to be changed so that he could live there.
Yes.
So in order to survive in Xtro land, Sam had to be
him.
changed into a monster in order to live.
And then he changed back when he came to Earth.
Yeah. When the monster impregnated the lady and Sam was like reborn out of her.
I assume the same thing happened on in their world.
Something had to give birth to him.
I assume that he fucked something, and then his skin fell off, and then he came out.
Like when they were like, well done, human. You figured out that you had to fuck this disgusting alien. And
I'm
Sam's
sorry,
like,
what?
Oh my God.
That's his fetish.
It's like when they process coffee beans through an animal's digestive system.
Civets.
Yes.
Civets.
Yeah. Kopulaki or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
I had to coat him.
So Sam, he tells Tony that he's lucky that he survived, I guess. And he's back to get Tony, implying that he's going to bring Tony back to Xtro land. And then we get another magical moment of the film where Sam gently pulls his shirt over his shoulder and like kisses his shoulder blade. And then
sucks, on his shoulder.
Gives a love bite to his own son. But it's like he's exchanging or like transferring some sort of strange material into his son's body. Like this weird stuff is coming out of his mouth directly into the skin and like underneath it.
Made me
this must be how it happened then on their planet. He must have had a really nice kiss with an alien and then it put all the goo in him.
Maybe.
I thought that the special effects, the practical effects are actually really good for the budget. I've got
I will say that. I will say that they genuinely were impressive. Like the eggs, the blood, and all that kind of shit.
The body horror, pretty good.
Yeah, I thought they did a
any body horror
good job with those at least.
And then they just rock up back at the flat, even though his mom was fucking worrying because he couldn't find Tony and Sam. I wrote down, Sam gives Tony a hickey to convince him to go to space, but sweets are better bribery because he's like, we just went out to get some sweets. Like, really chill.
Yeah.
Well, otherwise Rachel would be panicking.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, and also Mrs. Goodman downstairs is also having a little treat.
Those chocolates look so good. Oh. They do.
She puts the telly on, puts her feet up.
Honestly, she's living my ideal life. There was time recently, I had some time off. I think it was around my birthday, and I was just eating chockies, and I had a crossword on my lap and a cup of tea, and I had the telly on, and I was like, my God, I am living the dream.
And then Brenda comes in and like scoots her ass across the carpet.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh wow, I love her so much. It was like, I think I was in bed and I had cats on the bed as well, and it was just like, this is the kind of retirement I want. I want to just be in bed, and I want to wear one of those like dressing gowns with the feathers on.
Yeah.
And I want to have my hair and makeup done while I'm lying in bed and eating chockies and doing
Barbara
crossword.
Cartland.
Yeah, I just that is so me. That's gonna happen. I'm telling you, I'm willing that into existence.
It's already happening, Booth.
It's already happening. I just don't have the dressing gown.
Oh God!
And I don't have my hair and makeup done like ever.
Well, you do when you're streaming on cam.
I do, but that's like literally the only time. You wouldn't recognize me if I went out, like, because I don't put my makeup on to go out, pretty much. So I just look like this little hobgoblin wandering around Blackpool.
I love that word, hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin. I like the word troglodyte as well. That's a fucking
troglodyte. Yeah, good one.
Well, that's me. Just.
Oh
no, it's all of us. You know. Do you know what troglodyte is?
It's literally me.
Oh my God!
I like the part where she like tries to get Sam. I don't know if, again, the sequence of events in this movie is just whatever. But she like tries to get Sam to like clean up a bit. She's like, "Oh, there's a razor in the bathroom. You know, go shave." And I'm like. He's already fucking clean shaven, you psycho. Like, what are you on about?
He sniffs the aftershaves and he hates it, but that's Joe's aftershave.
Yeah.
So
don't
blame him.
Yeah.
Not liking it.
The stench of another man.
The other man. Yeah.
God, we are so animals, aren't we?
Pheromones in it.
Yeah. Tony, the little boy, now has superpowers and can do telekinesis. Just a little minor point.
Oh, I totally didn't even make that connection.
He's making his toys play with themselves, a top spinning around.
His dad comes in. Sam comes in, and he's like, and Tony's like, I didn't mean it. I couldn't stop it. I was just thinking about the noise it made, and it starts spinning around. You see, so he doesn't know how to control his new powers, much like Sam melted a telephone.
Yeah.
But Harry, the snake, he thought them chocolates looked really good too. So she found her way down. It found its way down through the ceiling light.
Oh yeah.
And
this fucking scene
falls into the salad that Mrs. Goodman is currently enjoying to make. She's
melts her dinner.
Dressing. She's
got all these nice dressings for it. She's seasoning it, putting all these dressings on.
She's not
it's going to be
good
lovely.
At tossing a salad though.
It is literally just lettuce and tomato. Yeah, by the way.
But there's a snake in it, right?
And a snake.
And you think
and
that
a Harry.
first, if you're doing it properly, everybody, you're supposed to give it a good rumble around in there. But you'd think you'd see a fucking snake.
Well, first of all, the snake landed on top of the salad. And then as she was walking over it, that had happened. But then somehow it made its way under the salad. I was like, that's the world's quickest...
Snake loves to live in salad.
Snake loves salad.
Oh, good boy.
So what happens to Harry, the snake? He lives a long, happy life. He enjoys the salad. They share it together.
He moves to the French countryside and finds another lady snake, and they have more eggs and live happily ever after.
It's a really nice, actually, story.
Nice.
Very, very poetic.
Are you sure he doesn't get, macerated with a meat tenderizer and then thrown into a bag?
So she finds the snake and she smashes him into mush, and she puts that mush in a bag.
That was so unnecessary.
And takes it up to their house and say, this is for you. And then Rachel immediately recognizes this bag of grey slush as Harry.
Yeah.
She immediately goes, oh my God, that's a snake in that bag. And also the snake is tiny, right? It wouldn't mush up that much. It would just be a little...
I think there's a bit of salad in it as well. The bag's got some tomato
I wanted to see the clean-up process of her actually putting it in the bag, because it's like, how the fuck, lady, did you manage this?
Maybe we'll get that in the director's cut.
She soaked it up with a tea towel and then sucked it out.
Wrung it.
Wrung it out into the bag.
There is an important scene that we have missed here, and it's the dinner that they have. Whilst Tony's messing around with all these toys in his bedroom, was using his special powers. There's this very tense dinner with Joe, Rachel, Sam, and Annalise, the au pair. And Joe announces that he's going to marry Rachel in a way of being the big man here. She's mine. I'm going to marry her. And Annalise very sarcastically says that she's so happy for them. And I thought, because they're having an affair.
Yeah.
But they're not, because it's a different character. Michael, the boyfriend.
Fucking long did you carry on in this movie thinking?
But the crazy thing is, it makes sense that she said that so sarcastically.
It makes so much more sense that to have this weird fucking love triangle going on, because then they're all sitting at a table and they're all fucking each other or whatever. It would it would add another dimension to it. I will say
it's so funny because what you're saying makes sense, but aside from thinking it was Joe to begin with, but I quickly realized it wasn't. Yeah, I just didn't clock on to her sarcastic remarks about, I mean, she's French. They're negative.
I'm so happy for you.
I'm so happy.
It's so weird.
Well, that is fucking great.
And then Sam picks up a bottle of wine and throws it at fucking Joe. Narrowly misses him. Glass explodes everywhere. Joe's like, you're a crazy maniac! You're out of your fucking mind! And I was like, that is he should have won a fucking Oscar for that line delivery.
He really should.
That line alone was Oscar worthy.
But then we get Tony calling out for his daddy. Dad! Daddy, Daddy! And Joe and Sam both stand up, but then Joe slowly sits down, and Sam just like strides like he's the fucking big Billy Bollocks, the cock of the walk, to see his son.
That's really
my
sad.
son.
It is sad.
Because I assume that Joe has been there for him quite a lot of the time since they're living together.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably picked up a lot of the father figure role there.
Yeah. You cannot compete with the biological parents, though. When it comes to, you can't unless that relationship is completely fucked, like completely fucked. Then yes, but you know, he even in the beginning when he had that nightmare,
Gonna upset people, G. Gonna upset people.
Well, no, because my mum was adopted, and she was like one of 7 kids, I think.
Oh my god!
Yeah, a lot of kids. So, her parents, her real dad's brother couldn't have kids, so they gave her to them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all sorts of fucked. Yeah, it's all sorts of fucked up. But yeah, no, she came to love like her adopted parents so much. Like they were her real parents. So I'm not saying
definitely.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but like if the relationship, like, you know, Tony's a young kid and he thinks
he's a little lad. He's like fucking 8 or something.
Yeah, I mean, he even said at the beginning, you know, he still loves us, and he's just gone missing for now, and he'll be back. He's coming back. He still loves us. So to Tony,
kids are very optimistic about these things as well.
Yeah,
you know?
And he had a great relationship with his dad, so there was no real reason for him to have any sort of like weird begrudging feeling. I mean, some kids probably would have been like, what the fuck?
My dad's a fucking wanker.
Yeah, where's he gone? So it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
I mean, we can safely assume that Rachel hasn't been poisoning him too much against his dad.
I don't think so. Yeah,
I think she's been quite diplomatic.
Yes, which is
nice.
Yeah,
that's good.
Are we?
Props to her.
We're moving on. Tony, he's trying to use his superpowers on his favorite toy soldier, but his dad like stops him and tells him not to. But then his dad turns on the gas and starts huffing it.
Yeah,
which is really weird.
As you do.
But remember,
I can only assume that
he's changed.
He's changed, and his world has natural gas in the air,
and he needs to breathe it.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a bit coming up later with the gas as well that is very confusing to me.
That is
then
gas
obviously,
the gas, not gas the liquid for Americans.
It's not gasoline.
Yeah,
it's natural gas.
Gas.
So then the gas is on, and Tony is hallucinating a little clown doing yo-yo tricks.
There's a fucking dwarf clown. I cannot believe it. He's like the little guy at Blade Runner. There's all these flashing lights, yo-yo tricks. He's got a wobbly hammer, which I love.
Oh, yeah.
Little wobbly hammer. Mrs. Goodman downstairs hears all this fucking racket, and she starts banging the ceiling with a broom, which is like such a cliche. And his mother's not happy and tells him to shut up, but he doesn't. He doesn't shut up because he's a naughty little boy who hasn't been fucking disciplined.
And not at all. He's a piece of shit.
I fucking hate that child. I really do.
Mrs. Goodman's doorbell rings.
Ooh.
She answers it, and a pair of pliers like clip at the door chain, so she immediately slams the door shut. She has got great survival instincts.
She does, yeah.
But unfortunately, an explosive is placed that blows the lock up. And at this point, we're like, what the fuck is going on? And then the door opens, and a human-sized toy soldier that looks a bit like Eminem walks in.
It's Action Man.
And I thought it was ironic that it looked a bit like Eminem, because Eminem did a song called Like Toy Soldiers.
Yeah, I thought Toy Soldier as well.
And I was like, that's crazy.
And I really like the detail that he had the flocked hair, though.
And the way he moves like a robot, the way he walks and
this is
the mime.
This is the other mime.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Tick or is it Tock?
That
No
one
clue.
is, I've written it down.
Oh, God.
That one
They're
is
long
Tick.
dead.
So the monster is Tok and the commando is Tick.
What a twosome. They're
And I
magnificent.
googled Xtro and I found a picture of the little monster on the road, and it led to a tweet that said, "Oh, this is just my friend Tim."
He's
He's like, I love seeing this trending, and this guy doing the rounds again because it's just my friend Tim, and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he worked as a mime in the 80s.
Yeah. So Tim Dry and Sean Crawford, who also released music during the New Romantic era.
Yes.
Oh my
appearing
God.
alongside Depeche. I don't know. I probably mispronounced
Depeche
that.
Mode.
Depeche Mode,
New-
Gary Newman, and many others.
Yeah. Fucking cool, right?
Cool stuff, man.
So this toy soldier is on a mission. The mission is to murder Mrs. Goodman.
I was cheering for the toy soldier to fucking murder her, to be honest.
Yeah, she's a bitch.
Yeah.
He has a massive bayonet on the end of his rifle, and we all know what's going to happen. Mrs. Goodman's hiding under the sofa. He stabs her, and blood squirts out. And it's like this.
Hold on. Like a fucking gremlin. She had the perfect hiding spot. Perfect.
Yes.
And like the gremlin that she is, she reached out to like
grab a chocolate
from the floor, which then gave away her position, and then he fucking bayonets her.
It's a coping mechanism, eating chocolate.
I totally understand. If I was feeling very scared and worried that I was about to die to a full-sized army man toy, yeah, I'd probably be like, well, might as well just finish me chocolate.
Sophie's like hiding. She's perfectly safe. No one can see where she is. No one can hear her. There's a killer on the loose. She opens a bag of Maltesers, starts munching on them.
Rustling
Rolls out from under the
over.
sofa.
Game fucking
I grab
over.
it.
Oh my!
I offer one to the life-size army man.
But the thing is, when she gets stabbed with the bayonet and the blood spurts out, it sounds like when you're trying to get ketchup out of a plastic bottle.
Well, it did look like ketchup. That's the thing.
I'm going to watch that bit again.
It genuinely
noise.
It looked like ketchup, so I think somebody squirted ketchup.
Yeah, Mrs. Goodman never died. She just accidentally
That would be
rolled
so
over.
cool if that was the case. Like, she's such a survivalist that she just had reserve ketchup under the sofa.
Oh my god! If you want to watch a horror movie about survivalist, oh my god, I can't remember what it's called. The one with the Australian lady, the Australian survivalist. What's it called? You're Next. You're Next.
That sounds ominous.
It's a great film. It's a great film. But it's basically a twist on like the slasher going after a group of people. One of the people, it turns out, was raised by an insane family that told them how to survive all sorts of scenarios and how to protect themselves, how to set traps and all this. So the tables are turned, G-Star Games.
I see. I see.
Joe is in the studio and there's a parrot there. And he's trying to get the parrot to talk. But the parrot ain't talking.
No.
Joe is drinking orange juice straight from the carton. And at this point, I still thought he was the au pair's boyfriend. And I was like, someone get this man a glass. Stop drinking directly from the fucking container. But he's a different character. Different
I have
actor.
a confession to make.
Uh-oh.
I sometimes drink from the carton. It's just easier. Sometimes when you don't want like a whole glass and you don't want to really dirty a glass. So you just go.
I don't think we can be Minecraft
husband
and wife anymore.
Well, sometimes it's just easier. And I'm the only one drinking from it. So like I'm the only one who drinks the juice and whatever. So
Okay.
I don't really see an issue with it if I'm the only one drinking it.
Well, that's fine. That's
It's
fine.
like
You're just
it's like
uncommon.
it's just like an oversized juice box, right?
No, common. You're common, not
Or
uncommon.
common.
You're common.
Yeah.
You're common. Oh, actually, that's what we were doing. A compliment. I gave you a compliment. I said that you were uncommon.
Yeah, I was a little confused at first, but then you fixed it. You fixed it with the Simon Lane twist.
Thanks. So, Joe, presumably, but maybe it was actually Sam, has left a note that's labeled, like it's got written on it, the note.
Yeah,
Do we ever see what that is?
Thank
Now,
you.
I thought, because the note would imply it's like, sort of like a goodbye kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I thought Joe had left a note saying, okay, clearly you need to work things out
Yeah.
with Sam and Tony, your son.
Yes.
So I'm gonna take a back seat for a while until you figure things out. That's what I thought it was.
Well, then we never see. I don't think we ever see the content.
No, we don't. We don't.
No.
So who fucking knows?
All right.
Um,
Gotcha.
But then we have laundry day. The au pair is actually doing some work instead of getting fucked. So that's good.
She's not
Bless
doing
her.
it very well, though. She's kind of sitting on a table and just fucking rifling through the pockets.
I thought
No.
you were saying she's not getting fucked very well, and I'm like, huh?
She's a trooper. Rachel has the dead man's jacket that Sam stole, and in the pockets is a photograph of the woman.
Yeah.
A woman?
Of
woman?
a woman. It took me
On
a
a boat.
while to clock on what was going on there.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think I was tired because I just finished the stream.
You-
So
You were tired and you just finished being sick after all of the horrible stuff going on.
God. It was
I-
eating the sushi and watching the umbilical cord being chomped.
it was so
That did it.
bad. Yeah, I also had that because I like to mix mayo and sriracha together too.
Bloody hell, G-Star Games.
Is this whilst you drink orange juice straight from the carton?
From the carton,
Gee,
yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ. So
Oh,
she
dear.
finds this photo. On the back of the photo it says, "Wonderful day, thank you, all my love, Jane." And also she finds a massive wad of cash. Sam walks in.
What?
Sam walks in. He denies knowing the woman. He doesn't know where the cash came from.
I don't know what that cash is about
Doesn't
either.
even attempt to come up with a lie. Just like, well, I don't know.
Nobody,
Dunno.
like, you would carry around a decent amount of cash, but not that much. That was a whole toilet roll. Like,
In
the
the
size.
80s, what are you going to
Yeah.
do? Because there weren't cash points. You have to actually go to like the bank, walk in the
Or
bank,
Or you have
ask
your
a lady
checkbook.
for some money.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm wondering
that.
what Ben and the lady were doing then. Like out there in the woods with a load of cash.
Yeah,
Probably going to their
make
country.
fucking sus.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Maybe they were going to visit an orphanage and give them money.
Yeah.
That's, yeah, it was
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne and, whatever the hell her name is. The wife. No, not Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne's parents.
Martha, Martha, why do you say that name? How do you not remember?
I don't, what are their names?
Martha and
Martha and...
Jeff Wayne.
It's not Jeff Wayne. And it's not
It's
John
Jeff
Wayne
Wayne.
either.
Jeff Wayne's one of the worst.
God, that would have been amazing if his dad was Jeff Wayne.
Oh, God.
Fuck.
The chances of anything coming from us are 1,000,000 to 1.
Oh, beautiful rendition.
But still, they come.
Fucking love
Okay.
it.
Rachel arrives at work to the studio, and this is when I'm like, oh, right. So Joe's was the photographer. This is Joe's studio, right? And I still think that he's also the boyfriend of
He might be,
the au
yeah.
pair.
Might as well.
Oh.
But he's got a really nice birdie, hasn't he? He's got Birdie.
Yeah,
cool
but the
bird.
birdie doesn't
I
talk.
I forgot what it was what he called it. It could have been Polly. But
Now,
he had an
I
accent.
thought, what is the fucking point in this scene? And the point is that she gives the photo to him. Because we needed that scene for later.
Oh, yes.
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 She's like, I found this in the jacket.
Yeah. Annalise in the flat tells Tony that she's going to get fucked for a little while.
And he says, "You're always lying down.
You're always lying down. I'm going to lie down for a while. You're always lying down." And I wrote, LMAO, she's a whore. That's what I wrote in my notes.
I wrote down, same.
Oh my God.
You're a whore now, do about it.
Yeah.
Boof's a whore. You heard it here first.
Nice. Up top, Boof.
Don't mean that.
Oh, yeah.
So this is when I realised that the boyfriend is Michael and not Joe, a different character.
What?
That looks a lot like
You
him.
did it!
This is how far into the fucking film it took.
I am appalled and shocked, honestly.
I'm sorry.
It took you
apologize.
that long.
The common sense.
I apologise.
Wow.
So she's going to get fucked. Sam and Rachel are driving in the countryside. We don't know where or why or what the hell's going on.
Oh, no, I do. Because she's like, we'll go and try and remember to see if it jogs your memory or anything.
Oh, right.
Because that's where he disappeared from. So he's like...
Okay, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. I don't know how I missed that.
Shocking, isn't it? It's shocking how much sense this film actually makes sometimes.
It does, actually. Annalise is in bed with her boyfriend, but Tony wants to play hide and seek, and he's about to open the door and walk in on them naked in bed together. And she's like, "Okay, I'll play, but just for a bit. Okay, don't come in. Please don't come in."
Well, no, the door's locked, I think, right?
I have my boobies out. Please do not come in.
I have my booby out.
My boobie.
My baby.
So Tony is hiding, and Annalise is the seeker. But apparently Tony's not in the flat, but he's going up and down in the fucking lift. Which, surely if you're playing hide and seek, you'd have to say
You're supposed
clearly,
to stay put.
Yeah, in the rules.
We know that
It's
this
just
kid
in this-
can't play games, okay?
It's fucking
Because
ridiculous, isn't
he
it?
can't play Connect 4, he can't play hide and seek.
Yeah.
You don't just leave the fucking arena of combat like this.
I
He's
thought,
changing the
does.
rules on the fly.
I thought at first that I found it strange because he was like, yeah, let's play hide and seek. And then because the front door was open, I thought he'd did a runner, he'd just gone. But I was like, if you were going to do a runner, why would you alert the au pair? You know what I mean? But then I realized he was just messing around in the lifts.
Yeah.
and
He's
being a
baiting
little
her to go
shit.
into. He's baiting her to go into the lift because Tony isn't in the lift. He's using his magic powers to make it seem like he is. Annalise walks into the lift. There's no sign of Tony. She takes the lift back upstairs, and we see above her, hiding like Spider-Man, or like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
There's the fucking dwarf clown on the ceiling of the lift. What a wonderful fucking shot and that reveal. By the way, I love the jumper she's wearing as well.
Yes, I was going to say she's got a fantastic fucking jumper, but also she's walking around without any socks on and you get to see her feet. There's a shot where she's running up and down the stairs outside, barefoot.
Amongst friends, you can say.
And I think that's disgusting because you also see that you see the state of the floor.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Right? It's awful.
The caretaker's not doing a good job.
He's
the caretaker's
it.
actually hoovering loads of fucking gross shit around. But
it's like he's mopping. It's like when you mop shit with the mop and you're just smearing that shit everywhere. That's what it looked like to me.
I don't actually do that.
It's like when Duncan's Ruber went over his dog's shit and just smeared it all over the floor.
It's not helping. You're just spreading the shit everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was disgusting, but not exactly surprising that she would walk around without shoes.
The hussy. So the dwarf clown leaps onto her and she screams or something.
And he bonks her with a rubber hammer.
We see that so the dwarf clown, he drags her body back into the apartment, and her body is covered in these paper streamers, and she's got balloons tied to her.
Yeah, it's great.
It's really weird. Really weird. Yeah, and this is when he like bonks her with the rubber hammer, but it's like a real hammer and it knocks her back unconscious.
Oh, it was a real hammer?
I guess that's
was
part of
it?
the magic. It can make it into like a solid hammer or a rubbery one.
Right.
He's there flopping it around, but then he hits her with it.
Yeah.
And she,
it was like real, and then it like flopped, and then he went to hit her, and
which I thought was quite funny.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
And then we get the wonderful scene where her midriff is exposed, and Tony sort of blows into it, and it goes all weird and veiny.
I thought that's the special effects that are really very clever, because it's like you've got all these different lights and like veins being exposed, and I think it's just quite cool the attention to detail they put in like that.
Horrible. It's so disgusting looking. And then we get like a shot of the clown like grinning, just watching it.
Fucking hate that clown.
Ugh. Ugh.
Yeah.
Rachel and Sam back at the old house. Apparently it's been broken into, and the gas has been turned on, but it hasn't been lit, which means a single spark and the whole place could go up in flames. But isn't that strange that the gas has been turned on?
When did he get back there to turn the gas on?
I don't know.
And why was the gas on?
Because he needs to breathe it, or it makes him feel better breathing it.
Yeah, but when did he go there?
I don't know when he went there. That doesn't make sense.
It was near the time when he turned up in the first place, and it's like...
Yeah, I think it's in the same area.
As that cottage of the other lady.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, this would make sense if it was the same house as the blonde lady with the rubbery hose thing.
But it's not.
But it isn't
because the decor is... No. I don't think so.
Well, there's like a bit of...
I'll have a look.
Rachel opens up a window, but it's got like a metal latch, which seems dangerous, because metal against metal, that could cause a spark and the whole place could go up.
It's different kitchen.
Different kitchen. No rubbery hose.
Also, you'd probably notice all the fucking alien skin and goo, and there's a dog running around.
Well, no,
and the dog's still eating it.
She made a comment about how nobody had been back to the cottage since he disappeared, and there's like there's inconsistency, because then I think she later says that they had been.
Yeah, Joe. Like with Joe.
Yeah, with Joe or something. So it's like, okay.
I don't know.
No.
I fucking love that house, though. The farm.
Nice.
It's absolutely just idyllic.
Was it Buckinghamshire?
Buckinghamshire.
Bucks.
Near where I used to live.
And it seems like Sam, he's standing outside and he's sort of looking up to maybe where the portal was that sucked him up. But there's nothing up there. But it's like he was looking for it or something.
Yeah.
Or reminiscing. Not really sure. Michael, the au pair's boyfriend, has shown up. I don't know what he was doing. He was just like lazing around in that fucking bed, I guess.
Well, because
you'll be waiting for your bird to get back.
But she said, I'll be back and just go play hide and seek with them. And he's laying there with his cock out.
Yeah.
You know.
Starting without her.
Yeah. So he's like, where the fuck is she gone?
And it feels like it's another game of hide and seek.
A game within a game. Would you like to play a game?
With a little toy tank that's following him around, which is a little bit sus.
I thought that was so funny. I was like, oh, please go life size and fucking blow this entire movie up.
G-Star Games, please. The tank fires like a real round that just about misses him. And the heat is on. And I was disappointed because I was like, is he just going to get shot by like a little tank? That's a really lame way to go. And boy, it isn't the tank that gets him. He hides in the bathroom only to see his girlfriend covered in a bunch of cobwebs in the bath. It's terrifying. Her tummy's all sort of pulsing and distended. It's awful. She looks horrifying. Actually horrifying moment. And then he like opens the bathroom door and there's a fucking puma. No, a panther. There's a fucking panther. A lovely, beautiful black pusskin.
I love the boy. He's a big boy.
And he's and I say in my notes, I'm going to give the film an extra point because of this cat.
He's gorgeous, isn't he?
An actual panther they got for the film on set as well. It jumps and presumably it murders the operator of the camera in the movie. So fair play. Going the whole
Very
mile. Rachel and Sam are just sort of wandering around in some woods, looking for Tony's old treehouse as they're sort of reminiscing, I guess. There's a body of some sort of animal that Rachel finds.
Yeah.
And I'm not quite sure what the deal is with that. Do you know?
No, I thought it was like the bloke. I thought it was the actual, another guy that, Ben.
Yeah.
I thought it was him.
Ben!
But then Ben. But I don't know whether it's just like another animal that he'd eaten or something. I don't actually know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Sam has a bit of a cry.
To distract her, I put it's just to be like.
It doesn't feel genuine, but also maybe there's a part of his humanity still. I'm not sure. Because throughout this film, he doesn't really act like a human. He just acts like a fucking.
Well, no,
I don't know.
There's instances where he does. He doesn't act like an absolute fucking NPC. He has moments
when he's
of
with his
normal
son. When he's grooming his son to become a space alien from another dimension.
No, there are moments of normalcy and hints of like, I guess, the old him, like a normal human. But then, yeah, he just, I guess, the fucking brain rot sets in, and then he just starts acting like a fucking extraterrestrial again.
Yeah. I guess an alien wouldn't know how to play Connect 4 in the weird way that they played it. Maybe.
There's so much that, like, he knows and remembers things that you feel like he shouldn't know and remember, because he's obviously, like, I guess he never really lost himself, right? He just had to sort of adapt into a new skin to survive on that, wherever the fuck he was, right? So, but he also has amnesia, right?
But he doesn't. That's a lie. That's a fucking lie.
Lied. Well, yeah, I can't tell if he was saying that he has it or if he's pretending to.
He's pretending. He's pretending about all of that shit, 100%.
Okay.
Because he's got, like, a plan.
Right.
And the plan involves the au pair, and that's kind of established.
Gotcha.
Because he does say to Tony, like, she's perfect.
She's perfect. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
We did skip that bit. They're reminiscing by the fireplace in this old house, and then the important thing is that his hair is kind of falling out. He's like losing his human form.
Yeah.
Throws it on the fire, it sizzles, which I found hilarious.
We get this. There's the wonderful scene in the apartment where Tony is drinking like a big milkshake, I think. Yes. And the dwarf clown is fucking around with the fridge.
I love the lighting. This shot is absolutely fucking great.
The dwarf knocks over. It's quite dark in the kitchen, and he knocks the fridge over onto the floor, opens the door, and this bright light comes out. Much brighter than a fridge light would be. But it looks great.
No,
Tony's sitting on
intense.
An upside down table as well.
Yeah, which doesn't make a lot of sense.
They've really turned the whole fucking house upside down at this stage.
They're turning it into like a breeding factory. Spoiler. Not really. The dwarf is pouring this weird goop into the fridge. There's a plan for that fridge, believe me. Rachel phones the house, and the dwarf clown answers the phone, but it's like he doesn't quite know how to use a phone, and he breaks it. It's like he's not quite doing it on purpose, but maybe he is.
Oopsie.
I reckon they just have a problem with phones, these aliens.
Yeah, I think so. I think telephone communications are a little bit different to how they do things in their place.
I guess the dwarf clown isn't actually an alien. He's Tony
No.
controlling his toy that's become... Oh, I don't know.
Anyway,
it was
Rachel can't get through, obviously.
Yeah.
It was
So
an interesting
she calls-
shot in that instance because she was sitting on a chair and the camera angle was high
Yes.
to make her look vulnerable, and the clown, the dwarf clown, they shot him from a low angle,
Yeah.
and he looked seriously menacing, especially with all that lighting and stuff, which I found.
I like how they've got loads of dead plants around that house that they're in because they've left all these plants. So she can't get through to Tony and Annalise. So she phones Mr. Knight
This scene
to
was
check
so
on the
funny.
apartment.
He's
And
the
he's eating an
caretaker,
orange. He's the caretaker.
and-
Is he got a picture of Stalin
Yes.
behind it?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Is that
He has-
Stalin?
yes.
He's a Marxist. He's got a great sort of a
1,000
telephone
times,
manner.
yes.
He's very polite on the phone.
Yeah,
Calls her
then
a
calls her a
bitch.
bitch when she hangs up.
Like the second she hangs up, bitch.
There was so much to take in that scene because I'm like I've clocked onto the picture of Stalin. He's stuffing his face with a sandwich. She's
Is it orange?
or an orange. Sorry, I thought he was eating a sandwich. Yeah, there was so much happening. I'm like, where the fuck do I look here? But yeah, chaos. And he's like, yeah,
And
I'll
that's
go
why
check.
you love
I'll go
this
check.
film so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's to my top 10.
So
And we go back to the-
Annalise,
Yeah, we go back to the bathroom.
Annalise,
And-
the au pair, is giving birth, like the alien queen, through a cloaca, an ovipositor, or
And
something.
the clown is catching the eggs that are coming out. He's sitting in the bath. He's quite happy.
The clown fucking loves it.
He's holding these squishy water balloons full of goo, and he's putting them in his bucket with loads of stickers on it, and he's dead happy.
He takes them and carefully places the eggs into the goop-filled fridge.
Yes.
And there's 7 of them. And there's a later shot in particular, the very end of the film, where I realised that they're like the Dragon Balls. And I was like, oh my god, it's like the Dragon
Fuck's
Balls.
sake.
Which is... I didn't even like Dragon Ball.
Why not?
Wow.
It's just bad. It's real bad. It's mid AF.
So Mr. Knight goes to the apartment to check on him, and he's buzzing the doorbell, and they're like, "Oh shit, what we're gonna do, mate? Flush the stash."
They don't care. They don't react in any way.
They don't react. But he can't get in anyway. He was like buzzing the doorbell, seeing if anyone answers. So he's gonna go. He goes up in the lift to try and find them, or down. I don't know. Wait.
He was buzzing at the door, and now he takes the lift back down.
He takes the lift back down, and the light goes off in the lift, and he's like, "Fucking foreign bulbs."
Cheap foreign bulbs. Nothing works properly in this effing country. Oh my god, he's
a Marxist.
racist.
He's racist. He's a communist.
He's a lot of ists.
He's a lot of ists.
And he gets out of the lift, but like it's completely black. But then we see all the flashing lights and a spinny yo-yo thing like floating at him, and he gets his throat slashed by this spinny thing. I thought that was a really cool shot as well. It's really fucking stupid.
It's so weird 'cause it's just completely fucking dark where he is, apart from this light, this multicolored, weird. I guess it's the yo-yo with like razor blades in it.
Yeah.
But
There isn't any visible razor blades, but
but something fucking slashes his throat, so there must be something.
it does.
Oh, maybe it's just magic. Maybe it's just alien magic. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter. We have Rachel. Obviously, she can't get through to the apartment. She hasn't heard back from the caretaker. She phones Joe in his studio, and they have a little chat. The important thing is that Joe has the fucking photo that she gave him that was in the jacket pocket.
He's cleaning out the bird cage, right?
Yeah.
Did you notice something that I thought was really fucking cool?
All the shit on the newspaper?
Yeah,
that was in
it's the
bottom of
Daily
cage?
Mail.
The Daily Mail.
He's
Oh,
using the
God.
Daily Mail to catch the bird shit. He's letting
That's
the bird
nice.
shit on the Daily Mail. Also,
That's
they've got 4 telephones. I'm looking at there's 4 phones, all the same phone, and some really cool tellies.
So how do you know which
Let's
one's
see.
ringing?
Oh, I really liked
Exactly.
I liked his studio. Now that you mention it, yeah, he had a really,
Yes.
really cool studio.
Pretty-
A lot of like, really,
A lot of
really
white.
cool. Well, it's a lot of white, but there was a lot of cool stuff everywhere. Like the way he had it all
Yeah.
set up was really cool. But yeah, the Daily Mail newspaper
it was-
was hilarious. And I also wrote, since when has the Daily Mail ever used a complicated word as macabre in their articles?
When have they ever posted anything? When have they ever written anything that's actually
Newsworthy, yeah.
It's a dead white woman. Of course they're writing about it.
Oh,
Macabre
that's true.
car park slaying is the headline with a picture of the fucking woman, the same woman that's
that
in
he's
the
got the
photo.
photo of?
And he's like,
Ah!
He goes, "Oh no." And I'm like, "Oh no, indeed.
Oh no.
Oh no, in fucking deed." Sam fucks with the phone line at the old house so
Yeah,
that Rachel
melt
can't
it.
keep making phone calls, which is probably a good call.
Good
Yeah.
call.
Hey,
So it's late-ish in the evening now, and Joe leaves his studio to try and get to
Save the
Rachel,
day.
presumably. Yeah, to save the day at the old house.
And he goes outside, and there's just fucking Tony sitting on the bonnet of his Range Rover.
Yeah.
Who lies. He tells a lie, and that's a sin.
That's
He says
naughty,
that Annalise left him there to go off with her boyfriend, and that's not true at all. So he's a liar, and he's a bad boy.
Little liar.
So this
Horrible
Land
little
Rover-
shit.
This Land Rover is Joe's car. And I was like, that is a lovely car. And they drive off
It's
the
beautiful.
old house.
And in the
in the dark.
meantime, Sam and Rachel get it on a bit, don't they?
Yeah, they have a romantic moment. Rachel's in bed, and Sam sort of just slides between the sheets, and he begins to make fuck with her.
But he's fallen asleep on some pizza or some paint or something, and it's a turn off, but he comes in her anyway.
So
I found that
the
so funny.
you're skipping the really fucked up thing, which is that when Sam is fucking Rachel, Tony, who has a connection to his father now, is grinning in the back seat. It's as though he can almost sense what is going on, and his mummy and daddy are making love,
No,
and
they're
that makes him
making
happy.
fuck.
They're making fuck. Sorry, I apologise.
So now Rachel's covered in the paint that Sam had all over him. He's-
Mm.
And
I love that he's
he's now-
nuts over that though. She's like, "Oh no, you've got pain." He's like, "Ugh."
Just immediately fucking shoots his
What?
load.
he's
Yeah.
like, he's has to do that. I think he's like, that's another way of impregnating, making more eggies
The
for the
traditional
babies.
way.
Yeah.
For the babies.
The
So-
bone.
He's leaking all these weird, dark fluids, and it looks like he's kind of rotting from the inside.
Yeah, I said he's becoming decrepit. He's got like some shit on his back.
He's got
Shit on his
PVA glue
face.
all over his face, and he starts looking like David Carradine.
Rest in peace, David. Rest in
He looks so much like when he gets his teeth and stuff. He looks like a spitting image of David Carradine. But then again, I do have face blindness. So.
That's true. That's true. So Sam's skin is all sort of ripping apart and rotting, but he still sort of gets dressed, which was a weird move at that point.
Yeah.
It is a very weird move, considering that there is no clothes on him later.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
I guess it's cold.
Yeah, yeah. Joe arrives at the house in his lovely Land Rover. He tells Tony to stay in the car. The front door's wide open, so obviously this is, alarm bells are ringing here. He finds Rachel pretty quickly.
Do you know? Yeah, but I like the bit where he walks towards the house and he walks into the camera penis first.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And
You
then
would
he
like
cops
that.
the fence. Like, that was a really unnecessary fucking shot. Like,
Oh.
it's not a transition of scenes. He just walks into the camera penis first.
as we
My
all do.
God.
Yeah.
Happens
Anyway,
all the
yeah.
time.
Rachel's kind of freaked out by what's happening to Sam, and she says, we got to get out of here. And of course, Tony did not stay in the car because he's a very naughty little boy. Tony is with his dad. His rotten, horrible daddy.
I want to know why he was like falling apart though.
Because he has to turn back into his Xtro form in order to return to the dimension. They have to start changing to return safely.
Okay. But why? Just why?
Because the human body can't survive in the dimension.
But why did they abduct him? Why did
because
he come
wanted
back
his son.
to Earth? Yeah, no, why did they abduct him?
Well,
why did Sam get abducted?
Yes.
So that they could colonize Earth.
But they...
All the
Spoiler
eggs.
They've laid
alert.
loads of eggs.
Yeah, all the eggs.
well, there are sequels, I guess, so...
Yeah,
Which
they've
are
nothing to
completely
fucking
unrelated.
do, yeah.
The director sold the rights of the film, but he kept the rights to the name. So the sequels are unrelated. They just have Xtro in the name.
Extra, read all about it.
Jesus fucking Christ. Let's just fucking end this. Joe is being the hero. He's running towards Sam and Tony as they're approaching what's like a weird sort of veiny looking light that's in the forest. Sam is looking more and more like a fucking corpse at this point, and he lets out a horrific whale screech thing
Battle
that makes
cry.
Joe bleed from his ears.
And then he kills him.
Well, I don't know if Joe is dead, but
No, it's just his
it
ears
looks-
are bleeding a lot.
No,
I don't think
it
he's having a
looks
good
pretty-
day.
His brain might have exploded. We don't know.
yeah, that might have been it. It might have like made his brain oscillate inside of his skull. So it's up to Rachel. Rachel chases after them. We get a wonderful shot of Sam's face that looks like a weird, oozing, goopy
Gooey.
skull.
Many
thing.
shots
It's really
of
fucking
Sam's
cool.
face. It's like the stages
cool,
of it,
though.
like... Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was good,
'cause he's
like...
changing back.
Yeah,
I love that one.
Anytime they, like, put the camera back on his face, it was always, like, a different stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite interesting. The man looked fucked.
We get this weird shot that's almost like X-rays. We can like see the skeletons of Sam and Tony from like behind. But it's clear that they're now no longer human people. They're Xtro people.
Yes.
Sam like takes hold of Tony's hand, and then Tony walks off into the light. The little boy gone now.
He's all fucking silly and gooey and shit. I mean, so that the skeletons are basically that's what the monsters. There's very Giga, isn't it? Like the aliens, they're all like skeletal. The bones are protruding out of them. They've got big, like the skull is like almost human-like, but it's just.
But
I think
just
they're
different
so
enough
cool.
to be horrible.
I think because I find that body horrors are one of the things that actually like gets me creeped out in these things because human beings are so fucking gross and weird. So that sort of thing is very clever.
Yeah, 100%.
Very clever. I really like the way they look.
They do look fantastic, and Sam also disappears into the light. There's a bright flash. There's no trace of them. They're just gone.
Thank God.
Rachel walks into this clearing of the forest where they were standing, and she just sort of sits down on the grass and just has a bit of a think.
God, I was so happy because I thought the movie ended there. I was like, thank God.
There's literally one scene left.
Well, there was like
So-
4 minutes, and I was like, oh, surely this is where the credits roll in, right?
So
Right.
in certain versions, it was where they wanted to end the film, and the director was like, "No, that's fucking bullshit, man. Can't just end it there."
Was it
I like-
artistic?
I like this next scene where Rachel returns home, but she looks a bit different. She looks a little bit glam, I would say.
She does look a bit glam.
Yeah, she's got a bit of like dolled up makeup on. She goes home to her beloved pussycat, her beautiful pussycat,
The
and her fridge
panther.
full of
The panther
mushy
is still
peas.
there. The panther is still fucking there in the flat. The flat The flat is very, very brightly lit.
Yeah, the filter
Like,
was
It's great.
pissing me off.
Holy shit. Just infused with light now.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. That's a cool stylistic choice. Like, just saying that this place is no longer
It's
like
fucking
a human dwelling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gone.
It's been extroified.
And
Mhm.
she's got her mushy peas in the fridge, and she's got her little eggs, little water balloons, full of goo.
And inside of one, there's a little lad sort of pulsing around and writhing about.
Isn't that clever though?
She
Having
holds
done
it in her
that,
hand and it's all sort of moving around. It looks disgusting and horrid.
Yeah, it looked awful.
And I kind of hate it, but I also kind of love it.
Yeah.
And it explodes. And then the fucking weird dick from Xtro comes out of it and goes into her mouth. The end.
No,
Yeah.
and then it like I guess impregnates her.
The end.
No.
That's where the film ends, G.
Well, yeah, no, it does the same thing that
Well, obviously the story doesn't end. Obviously the story doesn't end. The aliens will
The film
slowly take
ends.
over the Earth and everything. Right?
Oh,
that's the point of the
But the film
colonization. The door shuts, and then it goes to black, and then it says "the end" in big letters.
So that's how we know it's the end of the film.
That's how we know it's the end of the film.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's Xtro.
Final thoughts. Shall I go first? Because it was my pick. I think that's
Mhm.
Yeah.
normally right. So I've watched the Red Letter Media Best of the Worst episode about this, but I had this film was on my radar, but it looked, I don't know, I wasn't quite drawn to it enough. It looked weird. It had a monster on the cover, and I was like, huh, and it was just lodged in my memory, the existence of the film, even though I didn't know much about it until I watched the Red Letter Media episode. And there was enough from that episode that drew me in and made me want to watch it at some point. I thought it was, I don't know, it's like a weird mix of The Omen, kind of, with that episode from the Twilight Zone, the movie, where there's the kid that has, this omnipotent powers, and he makes cartoon characters become real and stuff. And it also feels a little bit Lovecrafty as well. There's a bit of cosmic horror mixed in. So that was a good mix of things. I was left open-mouthed at times. I loved the effects. They're so gruesome and disgusting. And again, because of cosmic horror and weird extra-dimensional entities, when you have those in fiction, it means that things don't have to make complete sense. The rules work differently for them, and so normal logic doesn't apply, which is a great excuse to have weird shit happening.
I agree.
But I thought the characters were very grounded in reality, even if the events of the film were really surreal and weird at times. And I did think the plot made sense overall. I did really enjoy this movie, and I'm giving it 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10. I
I'm
really
so
enjoyed
fucking
it.
glad.
Not the best film ever made, but I really enjoyed it. G-Star Games.
Hello.
Final thoughts, Xtro, and your score.
Okay. I think that
Mm-hmm.
if I had to describe this movie, it is like E.T. and The Shining had a miscarriage, and that is what Xtro is.
Holy shit.
I mean, you can clearly
it sucked
see
the life out of G.
It really
It's
did.
Completely.
It really did. You
I'm
can
not
clearly,
disagreeing with you.
you can clearly see like E.T. influences in this, but like really fucked up. And also The Shining, like Tony is the name of like Danny's imaginary friend. There's a lot. You can see it. It's trying to take a bunch of different things and make it into this whatever the hell this is. There's like some things I kind of respect about it and I kind of like about it. Sometimes the music really popped off. The editing was nicely done at times.
The lighting you enjoyed.
Beautiful lighting.
The lighting, the red lighting and
some of the shots when he said about it looking down on the woman, making her look vulnerable, looking up at the dwarf, making him look imposing and scary.
Yeah, so there's definitely
masterful filmmaking.
There's definitely some choices throughout that I thought, were okay, but I don't. They're not enough for me to give it a decent score personally. Right. It's one of those things.
And a reminder, you gave The Prestige 9 out of 10.
Yes.
So I want to see how this compares. Specifically to The Prestige.
I'm giving it a 0, to be honest.
What the fuck? How can you have positive things to say about it and give it a 0?
Because they're not enough for me to like it. Because I think overall, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I just did not. Maybe a 1. Maybe a 1. I'll change it to a 1 because
I'm putting a 1 down for you on the spreadsheet.
Put a 1 because I do have some nice things to say.
Fuck me. The only thing you've rated lower is Twisted Pair.
I told you before we started this recording
0
that I
gave that.
Yeah. It's a mess. It's a fucking mess. I hated it. I fucking hated this movie. It sucked the life out of me. And you could clearly tell that there was just too much going on in this director's mind, which is an interesting fact, by the way, in the trivia, that he looks back on this film with embarrassment.
Yes.
So
he was on a lot of drugs.
He was on a lot of drugs.
He should be proud of this film.
He said that the bizarre atmosphere of the film was completely unintentional and that there was no deeper symbolic meaning to the strange random events that were happening because they were high on drugs. So I'm not completely left field. Author,
so
wow. Okay.
It made a lot more sense than some films I've watched.
No, for sure. I'm not saying it's completely incoherent.
You've watched every Neil Breen movie, though, haven't you?
I have indeed.
Yeah. So it's a 1 from me.
It's a 1 from G-Star
There are
Games.
some things that I do like about it, so I can't give it a 0. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yep. Sophie.
So I'm looking at my Letterboxd, right? And I've logged this 3 times since August 2021.
Have you given it 3 different scores?
Well, no, I've given it. First of all, I gave it 3 stars, but then I wasn't really paying attention. I think because then the next 2 times I watched it, I gave it 4.5 stars out of 5.
Christ Almighty!
Which translates to 9 out of 10.
9.
But I wrote in my book 8 out of 10 because I think that's more. That's. I hate trying to translate because there's 2 different scoring systems here. You've got your 5 stars on Letterboxd, which is sort of what I use, and out of 10, it's sometimes it doesn't translate perfectly.
Yeah, it's really difficult converting a rating out of 5 to a rating out of 10. Yeah. You gave it 8 though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought
thoughts.
This. Honestly, it's more coherent than a lot of films is, but it's funny. It makes me laugh because it's so ridiculous at times. The lighting and the shots are beautiful in places. It's got nice little hints throughout it of what's going on. It does have it's definitely British because if the people are they look British, right? They're ugly, they're grounded, they're down to earth. That's what happens in British films of the 80s, right? You don't have these gorgeous Hollywood actors like you would in American movies of similar sort of times, except for like Don Dola.
You say that, but it's got the violinist from the Living Daylights. It's got Mariam Dobo in it.
Yes, Double. But I mean, yeah, you see that the 2 foreign people are the 2 people that look least gross.
Okay, that's true.
But it's very early Doctor Who vibes to it. I find it very entertaining with all the stupid twists it takes that make very little sense in the grand scheme of things. But I find it so entertaining that it's fabulous, and it's just a a favorite of mine. Like, I don't know why. I've never really understood why people gave it a bad rap, because I think it's just.
Some people are just G-star games in this
I
world.
understand that it's not a G film. Like, it's not a film that G would pick to watch in the first place.
It's a Sophie and Simon film.
But the people who choose to watch it might say that was shit. But I don't think like that, because I think it's cool. It was made on a budget of £500,000 and it was filmed in a month. In February of 1982. And it was just after the so-called big snow, where temperatures in parts of Britain dropped to almost minus 30 degrees Celsius.
Oof.
That's why it looked so fucking cold. And it's a few weeks before the beginning of the Falklands War. And yeah, £500,000.
It made $1.2 million at the box office, which isn't much. But on VHS,
it's about £1 million.
On VHS, it made a fucking fortune. It was very popular.
It's because the cover. It's one of those like video shop staples, but also people thought it was a video nasty.
It was.
And it wasn't. It was not a video nasty. Was it actually?
It was on the Section 3 list of 82 films.
But that's
called
Section 3.
Video Nasties.
That's the Section 3.
Section 3. The Section 3 list are called the Video Nasties. That was released by the Department of Public Prosecutions. I checked
BBFC.
The IMDb person that said this wasn't a video nasty. I fact-checked it and they were wrong. So, well done, that person on IMDb.
I was literally talking to somebody and they said, no, it's not a
It's literally on the list of Section 3 Video Nasties.
I did a fucking video on the Video Nasties.
So
you watched it, Simon. You were in it. You were in the video.
Section 1 titles are the ones you could be prosecuted for possessing or distributing. Under Section 3, this is a less obscene. They could be seized and confiscated and then later destroyed.
Can you explain to anyone listening what the Video Nasties are? Because some people might not actually know what you're talking about.
In Britain, it was like the Satanic Panic sort of thing. And Mary Whitehouse was a Conservative MP who was convinced that they were destroying the minds of children and even dogs.
There were some famous murders in which they tried to connect it to films that people had watched.
Yeah,
and sort of led this.
So basically, they tried to ban anything that was particularly like had violence or sexual violence, too much violence of it, too much gore, various sexual acts and stuff, and they had it in different lists. So there was video shop owners that were getting like arrested, prosecuted for owning these tapes, and
but obscenity charges.
Yes, and eventually that led to what we have now as certificates, ratings. So like U for like universal, like everybody, and you've got 18. And like, so basically that's what made the rating systems. And this was in the era before that.
It was the British Board of Film Classification that basically saved this film because they awarded it an 18 instead of an X or an unrated or refused a rating.
I thought it was R.
No, that it's a UK film. So they gave it an 18. This was the 1980s in the UK. There's no such thing as an R film in the UK.
Because on the IMDb it was listed R.
I don't care what IMDb says. IMDb's wrong about half a fucking dozen things about this film.
The BBFC didn't even watch a lot of the tapes. They just went by what was on the cover or what the name was and stuff.
Yeah.
Well.
So because they awarded it an 18, it was allowed to be shown in cinemas and allowed to be sold on VHS, even though it was on the fucking Section 3 list. So it wasn't actually a banned film because the fucking official board gave it a rating, which fucked over trying to prosecute people for having this film. So that saved the film. Apparently it was the 33rd best-selling film on video in 1983. Like, across every single VHS tape sold in the UK. Also on the Section 3 list, to compare the other things that will be on there, the first 2 Friday the 13th movies were on there. The original Dawn of the Dead. The Thing was on there. Suspiria was on there.
This is why they don't feel like video nasties, because they're just like nothings.
Yeah. David Cronenberg's Rabid and Scanners were on there as well.
Night Beast.
So it makes sense, like, in a way. Sort of body horror, horrible, disgusting, violent things. There's a moral panic at the time. So it gets put on a list of naughty films, you know?
But people went and sought those out as well.
Yeah, because they made the films infamous.
It made it, and even now, okay, they are getting so expensive to search for these tapes, especially the pre-certs, the ones before they had the ratings and stuff. So I'm looking at. I
was going to ask you how much did Xtro cost you to buy on VHS?
I don't fucking remember, but it wasn't that much. Because I got it such a long time ago.
50p at car boot sale.
There's one on eBid, which isn't eBay, and it's fucking ridiculous. It says rare pre-cert, but it's got the certificate on it. It's like, fuck off. That's not, and that's 50 quid. It's literally the post-cert version, which is bollocks. God. But they come up so rarely, these tapes, that it's. I mean, they're going for like hundreds these days. So if I search for extra like VHS, there's a clamshell pre-cert for 75 quid that's sold.
Oh,
so yeah, it's fairly expensive, whereas the pre-certs, the post-certs are only about £8 to £10.
There is interesting bit of trivia that I found. The producer of this film, Mark Forstater, produced Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So there's a connection between this film and Monty Python and the Holy Grail. If you want to read all about the story, it's in his book, The Seventh Python, A Twat's Tale, if you're interested in learning more.
Nice.
The Twat's Tale, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, there's the one where aliens are not, they're not specifically referred to as aliens at any point in the film.
Even though one of the posters says alien something on it.
Well, I mean, that's like the promotional material, but that's not like canon, I guess.
It is canon. It has to be canon. The alien is pure evil, it says. This alien is like pure
a quote?
Evil. No, it's just one of the posters for the movie, which you would think...
Do you think it'd make a good video game then, G?
Belongs in the fucking trash pile with all those ET games, yeah.
Okie dokie.
The Atari ET game.
Would it make a good video game? Maybe. I think so.
I don't think so.
Like as a Golem. Like Golem, which wasn't a good game, so...
I think that would be fucking...
Oh, Golem.
Yeah, Golem.
Golem. Yeah, not Golem.
Whatever.
A golem is something else.
Yeah, that's like a Jewish statue brought to life. Kind of.
Oh, right.
With a piece of paper
I
in
love
its
some
brain.
of the taglines of this, though. When Tony grows up, he's going to be just like Daddy.
That's fantastic. Okay,
and there's another one like... yeah, that is the tagline. That, like, this alien is pure evil. But there was one, I can't quite find it. It was like, Daddy's back, but he's not quite the same, or something like that. Not all extraterrestrials are friendly.
Oh, Jesus. On the back of, like, E.T. being released, I guess.
Yeah. My favorite review quote is from Roger Ebert, and it says, Xtro is an ugly, mean-spirited, and despairing thriller that left me thoroughly depressed.
Damn. I was not thoroughly depressed by this film.
I
had a blast.
was having the best fucking time, man. It was so
fun.
Good.
Honestly,
me and Sophie loved it, G. You're the odd one out. You're the odd one out.
Odd out.
It's like when we watched Heat and Sophie was the odd one out.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we watched... Wait, when was I ever the wrong... I don't think I ever have been the odd one out.
It's just like every other film I
haven't.
watch, I'm the odd one out.
It's like it's one of you two. One of you two is always the hater or the lover?
No, this is
when
the
other
first
two are haters?
time. I think aside from Twisted Pair, which we all kind of thought was just madness, this is the one other time that I have been very negative about a film.
Yeah.
I don't think I've been like that bad when it comes to the other ones.
You normally look at things in quite a positive manner, I would say. Or at
Yeah.
least you try to.
This film made me,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe my bipolar is just like flipping up.
Did it make you really angry?
It's made me angry. It's made me angry.
That's what it
I'm
does.
sorry, G.
But it's fine. No, do not apologize. This is the point, and this has just been another experience. It's just another experience.
It's been a horrible one, but
But it has been an experience.
I have no problem with this. You know, it's just one of those things. Just like how Boof hated The Greatest Showman. She gave it like a 0, I think.
Yeah,
And
it was
that's-
fucking
Yeah.
bollocks.
Such a hater.
And she thought it was fucking bollocks, you know? So
I
that's-
loved that film.
See?
If we could rewrite the stars.
Oh,
I still got
God.
those songs stuck in my head. Okay, your lists, ladies. Have you made any changes to them?
No.
The only other like tiny bit of trivia was there was an alternate ending in the German version where she goes home and she finds the apartment filled with clones of Tony.
Yeah, that was something I forgot to mention.
That
like
sounds
that was going to be
hilarious.
that was going to be the ending where like it opens it up for a sequel, or like the fact that that's their purpose. They're colonizing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know? Tony's had all these babies.
His babies.
Babies.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Did you replace Xtro?
Yeah, you bet I did, with another horror baby.
Woo!
With another horror baby, and this time I was like, I'm going to pick a film that I think G likes.
Okay.
And I have gone with Bram Stoker's Dracula,
Fuck yeah.
the
Nice.
Francis Ford Coppola version,
Nice.
Yeah.
starring
nice.
Keanu Reeves doing a bad accent, but I don't care, frankly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fabulous choice there.
Fantastic film with
Wonderful.
all practical effects, no CG.
I think maybe if we ever get that one, it'll be one that maybe we all enjoy quite a lot.
Maybe. Well, we'll see what we get. Shall we?
Roll the dice.
So, first of all, we roll to see what number on each of our lists we get, to narrow it down to one film from each of our lists. We roll a D6 crystal, apparently. That's nice, that's fancy. Let's see what we get. We got a 3, which is Bram Stoker's Dracula or Sea of Love. I can't even remember what that is. Is that the thriller one?
With Pacino, and he's dealing with like a killer who leaves like a something at the crime scenes or
She
whatever.
got a great ass.
Got a great ass.
Or An Evening with Beverly Loughlin. Is this the one that's from the director of Greasy Strangler?
It is, yeah.
Oh my god, what a great selection we've got. Okay, a 1 or a 2 will be Bram Stoker's Dracula. A 3 or a 4 will be Sea of Love. And a 5 or a 6 will be An Evening with Beverly Loughlin, which apparently is a comedy. So,
Yeah.
we got a 2. It's me. It's Bram Stoker's Dracula. Which means I've had 2 in a row. I'm going to be out next time. Bram Stoker's Dracula, the brand new film added to the list. It's 1.
Hooray.
That's just how the
Amazing.
dice works, baby.
That's how it works. That's just the way
how
it
it
rolls.
works.
How the
Oh my
cookie
god.
crumbles.
Oh, this is good. This is going to be a blast. It's going to be a fucking blast.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of YOMP. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed it, we do have a Patreon. We release episodes every week for you, and you can get them a bit early on Patreon as well.
Mm-hmm. That's
Get them
at
a week
the
early for
middle-
£10.
Yeah, the middle tier, which is amazing. And if you want to go check it out, it is patreon.com/yompcast.
Cat's crying. Sorry if you could hear that.
No, I couldn't hear that.
No, we couldn't
Okay.
hear.
But, all right.
Thank you. We'll catch you guys.
listening.
Thank you very much. We'll catch you next
Bye.
time. Bye.
as always, thank you so much to our patrons, and in particular, the Giga Yompers, which I will never get used to saying. Cara Jackson, thank you so much. Cornelius Vander, thank you. Enki, thank you. I'm a Robot. Kyle, thank you so much. Thank you, Lawrence. Thank you, Luck. Thank you, Native Blood. Thank you, Scott. And thank you, Sleepy Deej. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting us. And if you want your name read out as an executive producer, you can do so by going over to patreon.com/YOMPcast. I love how I didn't plan for this. It's YOMPcast. Thank you so much. See you next week.